All right. So I'm going to share my screen. And then we can minimize that. Okay, so welcome to eChalk Tips and Tricks. This is going to be a nice personalized session because there's 6 attendees if you count Molly on Google+, and then Katie and I are here to help you guys. A good amount of time, questions, just time to work, time to build stuff in. If we cover something or don't cover something that you want us to, we're more than happy to kind of take this wherever what you guys need. So first thing I want to show you where to get some of these resources. If you log into eChalk and you go to my groups, everybody is now a member of the eChalk Professional Development Group. So that's simply going into my groups, and then you'll see a list of groups depending on which ones you're in. Click eChalk Professional Development and you'll be on the eChalk Professional Development page. Okay. All right. On here, a group page is exactly like a class page. So if you coach a sports team, if you have a after-school group of some sort, you can use groups just like classes and post information for students. It just shows up in their groups. You add them as members just like you would add them as members of your classes. Same types of things, except it's not on their class page, so they're not looking at their basketball practice while they're supposed to be focusing on math.
Simple question. And that would be, how would you set up your initial class? Would you have to have somebody set you up?
Right now, site managers, so whatever school you're at, your site manager can create a group for you. Okay. They'll make you the full manager of the group, and then after that, you're in charge, just like your class. You can add members, you can edit it, you can change the description, all that kind of stuff. So right now, I'm a member of a lot of different groups.
I only have like 3 listed.
Right, I have a whole bunch. Some of them are just kind of fake ones, play around. Here's a cross country one that we did last year. Actually, I think the girls basketball team at Emerson, here's their group. So they have all their practices. And if you're site manager and you work it out, you can actually have it where these practices post to your school's calendar. So they're automatically posted. So let's say you update a practice, you don't have to have the site manager update the practice on the calendar. It's automatic for you. So that's really nice. There's announcements. In here, I've seen other teachers put in like basketball drill practices, or things to do at home, or resources, or if you have any kind of club, you can use this for that. So just an option to know about with groups. So the group that we have is eChalk Professional Development, and this is where you'll always be a member, and you'll always be able to find all the resources in here. So obviously this is the event we're on. These are announcements that I created. The eChalk support phone number, never hesitate to call. It is not just for site managers to call. The entire district can call eChalk support, and they answer the phone right away. You're never put on hold. You're never asked to wait. They always immediately answer the phone. And there's only about 4 or 5 people, so you'll kind of get to know them if you call. They're really great, though. They're really helpful. They'll just ask you what school you're at. They can log in and help you with whatever little issue might be going on, or direct you if there's something else. So never hesitate to call eChalk support. If your site manager is busy, pick up the phone and they'll be able to fix stuff for you. The resources here, this is a link to the Learn to eChalk help site, which is the eChalk Academy. Some of the resources in here don't apply to you because they're for site managers. So if you're a little confused, that might be the reason. There's a lot of things in here you can find. So feel free to poke around and see what you can find. But I've also organized a lot of the resources in here. So resources for announcements, resources for basic setup for blog. So if you go into announcements, there's a few links to, some of them are resources that I've made, some of them, Katie's made some resources, other teachers have made some resources. Some of them are ones I found from other schools. Some of them are linked to the eChalk one. So a lot of different resources for everything you can imagine. So if you're not sure about something or you just want to kind of play around, you can always start here, and always adding and always updating for more information in here. So just want to make you guys aware of this is a group as a resource for you. In here, today's event, if you click on eChalk tips and tricks, the information here, this is the link to the Google Plus event that many of you RSVP'd to. Thank you. And then here is a link to the agenda for what we're going to do today, which is a Google Doc. And if you'd like to take notes on a Google Doc, you can actually click on that and make a copy of it for yourself. And then it'll save in your own Google Docs and you can add your own notes.
Does everybody know how to do that? Make a copy of the Google Doc?
No.
No? Okay, so if you click on it, then you're going to go up to his file, and then you're going to click Make a Copy.
The file's not opening. You can click on eChalk tips and tricks, and it's like halfway blue, but it hasn't gone across yet.
Okay, and then click OK.
And then click
Then you
OK.
click OK.
And
Change the name? No. It says,
You could change the name because it's going to go into your Google Docs.
Right.
So you can name it whatever you'd like to name it.
eChalk.
A lot of times it'll say copy of, so you can get rid of that. And then once you're taking notes in there, then they'll go into your Google Docs.
I can't get it.
The internet's a little slow for click on, go back up to the event. Just click right on the agenda.
Some people have it as a view only.
You know why? It should be view only, then they can make a copy though.
Copy of eChalk. Just go there.
They can't make a copy of it.
Nobody?
I can, but mine's not a view only. Did you share that directly with me?
That's in your drawer.
Can you guys make a copy?
No.
Here, I'll make it public on the web. You're probably not signed into Google Docs, that's why. So if you reload now,
Oh, did you say?
it'll work. Because if she's not signed in, because it was the
Got it.
BSD one.
That's okay.
Anyone else need help making a copy?
File.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do?
File.
Okay.
So if you file and make it right now, it's a view only. So go to file within Google Docs. So down here, on that file. And then make a copy, and it'll put a copy of the agenda in your own Google Docs, and then you can edit it instead of everybody editing. You can have your own notes. This file. So down here, file, and then make a copy.
change. Yeah, you know how to do that.
Is that okay?
You are.
And then it should open your copy. And now you can edit that and add your own notes. But it's your copy in your Google Docs.
That
So,
way you're not changing the original document.
right. Say this is a good way for kids, if you want to get kids, have them all make a copy instead of having to share it with everybody. There's a way to get them to get a copy in their own without you having to individually share it
Got it.
with each student.
And they got gotten to that pretty quick.
I can see where at the same time.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't know how to go about this process of having them find that.
If you provide them the link, all I did was give you this link.
Yep.
And I made it, when I shared, you guys are public, can view.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just shared with anyone who has that link.
Right.
And that's the link I gave you. So if you give them that link, then it'll open right up and they'll be able to say file, make a copy.
Okay.
But they need to they already logged into their Google Docs and use Google Docs. So that's something that, if you haven't done that with them, that's the first step, is to get them started with Google Docs. All right, so that's just for you guys in terms of if you want to take notes. If not, just sit and absorb. All right, and then Katie is going to. This is the this is the fake page. All right, so this is a teacher account that's not a real teacher. It's eTeacher. So Katie's going to go over a couple things about, as you can see on the agenda, we're going to talk about class pages.
Okay. So when you have your class, you want to make sure that there's a course description in there. And your course description will be at the bottom. And we don't always just want to we're going to have a fun year in third grade. You want some information because parents are going to be looking at this, so you might want to put the teacher's name. So if you're a co-teaching pair, you might want to have both teachers' names in there. You teach all subjects, just things like that. So to change that, you would go into your settings.
So pick a class. Some of us have one class. Some of us have multiple classes. So just pick one of your classes to change the description.
So Jane, you could just go into 5MS, the first one.
Where is the description?
So
Then you would go into edit options.
yeah, go back to the class page.
Okay.
So if you click on my classes first, there's a little weird thing about eChalk that when you if you click on my classes, you're going to get a list of all of your classes. If you click on home page first, you're going to be on all your classes, but if you actually click on one of these classes, so if you're in a class, all of these buttons now refer to this class. They don't refer to all of your classes. If you're on the My Classes, then they refer to all of your classes. It's a little confusing because the buttons take you different places depending on where you originally were. So what I always do is I click on My Classes and then I choose one of the classes. And then now the settings are for this class.
So you're only changing it for one class.
Got it.
So then you click on settings. And you'll go into a page that looks like this, and you can see what your course description is. You want to click Edit Options, and then Edit again.
So Edit Options, Edit.
Lots of clicking. Okay, then you're going to scroll down, and that's where the course description is. So we want to change that to something that's a little bit more exciting and gives a little bit more information. So this looks like a 3rd grade class, so we can change it to Welcome to Mrs. Suomi's 3rd grade. Trying to think of something.
This year we will study. Right. It's a good idea to talk about what in your course description what you're going to teach, because a lot of parents, if they've never had a 3rd grader, they don't know what 3rd grade is about. They don't know what your class is about. Or for ed, you would want to add what kind of science topics you're going to cover, rather than just welcome to my class.
Right. So because it's a fake 3rd grade class, and I don't teach 3rd grade, and I don't know what they cover in 3rd grade, I'm not going to write anything, but you just want to put as much information in there as possible, and you want to make sure that your name's in there, and they know maybe your classroom number, maybe a phone number if you need a phone number in there.
You can see Mrs. Suomi's is centered, so she centered it, she changed the text, she changed the font, and all of that editing is up at the top. And I can show you, we have a little help document if you're not sure what all those tiny little buttons mean. That'll help you navigate what that means, and you'll kind of get used to that.
You can add a picture in if you'd like. Oh, that's not a picture. I'm sorry, this one. You can go in there, and they have a bunch of pictures that you can just pick for yourself in the image gallery. So maybe if you study space, you might want a space picture in there.
That's just the clip art. You can always upload your own picture, so if you find one on Google, then you can upload your own picture.
It could be anything like that. But you just want, you want to put yourself in the parent's shoes, and you want to have as much information in there as possible. When you're done, you need to hit save at the bottom. If you don't hit save, everything that you did won't go through.
One of the things about eChalk, the save button's at the bottom, so don't ever forget to scroll.
And a lot of times I just click through and I forget to do that. So I'm going to hit cancel because I don't want to keep all that fun stuff.
Can you go to the public page? All right, so your description on the public page is always going to be way up at the top here. And you'll notice
it's the first thing the parents are going to see. So you want it to be, and you don't have to change that all the time. If you have something general in there, just make sure that it will cover the span of the year, not like welcome, happy September or something. You don't want to.
Back to school.
Yeah.
I've seen some teachers who add it, Merry Christmas, and then that's there till May. So you don't often see the course description because you're not looking at this page, but parents and students are. So just make sure you keep that updated.
And keep it general. Okay. Past events.
So we're going to have time to go back through and edit some of these. We're just going to kind of go over some of the basics and then give you time to go through and answer your questions and help you with different things.
So I'm going to go back to the homepage. This is going to take me back to this teacher's homepage. If I went back to my classes, I'd have to pick which homepage I want to go to. So I'm going to pick Miss Teacher's class. And to put an event in, you're just going to hit the plus button. And you're going to pick the date. So maybe Friday. Something we can add. Maybe Friday Fun Day. We do that in 5th grade.
And always remember, I just noticed Katie corrected herself because she was typing and she typed a lowercase f and then she made it an uppercase f. Be careful how you title these events because if you're not capitalizing the name of an event, you're not helping your students learn to capitalize the names of things. So always check on spelling, always check on capitalization because it's reflecting on you and a professional look to your site that there's capitalized titles. Also, you want to pick an event type that's going to put like a color box next to it. Kind of makes it look nicer. And we'll just call this an activity because it's something we do on Fridays. You don't have to choose an event type, but it helps students, especially at the younger grades, because you can say click on the yellow one, click on the red. And you'll see what it looks like once we go there, once we hit save. You also can have this show as a short description. So if I had some text below here and I wanted to say, if you completed all of your homework this week, you are invited to Friday Fun Day. This week, we will take a walk to the park. So if I save that, I can also add an image file. I can change everything in here. But when I save that, and I save my event, you have to go all the way down and hit Save Event. It's going to show up, and that text is going to be in there. If you don't want that text in there because it makes it longer and longer and longer, you can go back in and edit. And you're going to want to show it in a separate page. So that will be, when they click on that, I'll show you what it looks like. Then they'd have to click on Friday Fun Day. Well, let's see where we're going to go for Friday Fun Day so they don't see it right away. And once it's clicked on, then they'll have their description. Oh, can you go back to the My Classes area? Like the one that has all of them. So in here, if you imagine all that text, that's going to cause this box to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And to an extent, it's okay if that's bigger, but you don't want to have pictures and embedded videos and links, and it gets really, really, really big because it's hard for the kids to navigate what's in their math class because it's way, way, way down. So showing in a separate page is often a very good advantage to keep it easy to navigate.
And they can click here and go right to that. So it's just a management thing. If you prefer it, if you don't have a lot of text there, it's not that big of a deal. But if you have multiple events on the same day, it gets really long.
And if you also think about if you're a regular classroom teacher, your kids are also going to an art class or a music class or a PE class. So they have other classes listed in there besides yours. So if yours take up this much space and then everybody else's take up extra, the kids are going to get lost in finding where they're supposed to be because it's so
And it takes a long time to get through all of it. Okay, so that's an event. You can also set events for multiple days. So if I just wanted to have Friday Fun Day all week, because I think that sounds awesome.
Or every Friday.
Or you can set a recurrence so that it's every Friday. You could repeat the event for a certain number of days. You could repeat it every 7 days, or you can pick the dates on here. So if I want to repeat it the 12th, the 19th, the 26th.
But let's say you didn't have school on the 3rd, so you would
so then I would skip the 3rd.
I tend to use that one rather than repeat every 7 days.
That confuses me.
Because every 7 days, and you have to include weekends if you want it to be every 7 days. Otherwise, you have to do it every 5 days. So I just use that one and pick those dates.
So an easy one to put on there is if you do a spelling test every week. Just put the spelling, and then you automatically have an event ready to go. So then if you hit Save Changes, so that puts it on all of those dates. And you want to hit Save again. Keep saving. If you look at the calendar, you'll see that every Friday we're going to have Friday Fun Day. Does that make sense?
It doesn't show up in your list of events because it's too far in the future, so it's not going to.
They only keep so many events. I mean, you can change that, but you probably don't want them to have so many events in that big list.
Yeah, you don't want all of their spelling tests for the year to show up because they're going to get.
Because it would all show up here, but this will only show. I think it's like a week. It defaults to a week.
They're in the options area. You'll find a way that you can customize if you want how many events to show in that events list. And that's up to you. I find that a lot of students navigate from the My Classes area rather than from the homepage area.
From this.
That they navigate what's going on from this rather than from the homepage.
It could go either way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's pretty much all we're going to do with events.
We'll go back and help you guys add things and customize and show you some tips for those events too.
Okay, another part of your page is the announcements. This is something that you want to change on a very regular basis because this is like all the important things that are going on in your classroom. So in my classroom, that's Jane's job. She likes to do the announcements and put pictures in. So
one thing I want to mention, this white area, okay, you're going to see this often in eChalk. This is the area that lets you customize it. And imagine that this is a completely blank slate, that you could have it to be just text and make it very simple. You could add links, you can embed videos, you can add lots of pictures. So it's a canvas for you to do almost anything with. That's why there's so many of those features.
And they're all up here.
And I personally, you can have all of the directions for an assignment with the link and the video and all the resources all within just this one simple white area rather than having kids, okay, now go to this and then type this in and go to this. You could almost put step 1, we're going to do this, step 2, this, step 3, this, so they can follow all of the directions. And you can have all those resources, so then when you teach the same thing next year, you just change the date, and now it's already done for you.
And what's nice is if you embed a link in here, it opens up in eChalk. So everything stays in one window, so they don't have 6 windows open, because I know that's an issue with my kids. They can't find which window.
On the iPads like that, the same way?
I'm not familiar with iPads with it, but.
It works the same way.
Okay, so for announcements, you want to put something that is topical. You know, maybe you want to do this every few days, if not every day. So I'm just having a hard time coming up with things to write about.
The one I always come up with is don't forget to bring your lunch for our field trip. So that's something that would be an announcement. That wouldn't be an event because it's not something happening. It's just something you need to remind the students of. Or, you know, library books are all due on Friday. And those are the kind of things that you need to remind them of, but aren't events that happen.
In ours, we also put our special schedule so that that's something that the parents could see right away. That could be something you can have in there.
Would this be like the best place to put something like we're currently doing? Like if you, like you said, like posting a picture, like, hey, like check this out, like we just did this in class.
I think that would be a great spot.
Yeah, you can do that. Just remember where the announcements show up. You have to consider the size, and we'll show you that in a second,
Okay.
for how you format that. One thing about this white box is sometimes you'll do something and you realize, oh, the font's too big, the font's too small. You just have to go back in and kind of work with it, and you'll learn kind of the tricks to make it look like you want it to look.
Right, and you have all these options to put your different fonts, make it your own. And it's a lot like Microsoft Word or Pages. You can change colors. Make sure your colors are something that is easily seen. Don't put yellow, because yellow is kind of hard to see. If you have multiple announcements and you want to separate them, they have a line tool. And then, let's see if you can, this is what it looks like. And if you click on that, it'll make a horizontal line, and then you can go on to the next one. I like using that to separate them out.
So your announcements, there's not a way to do multiple announcements in like, individual things.
It's
just
just
one page, and then you can divide it up however you like. So if you're done with bring your lunch money, you can put something else in that spot and just keep things kind of separated with those lines.
So you can do it like that. You guys have any questions?
Try to keep announcements smaller.
You don't want a huge long stack of
Because
announcements.
they're not meant to be really big, long explanations.
Is there any way to go from what you're working on to see what it looks like quickly without signing out and signing back in again?
You can go to
Do they have it at the top? No.
the preview. Right.
Can't you just save it and then preview?
Once you're in here, go to preview public page, and that'll take you right there.
So here's where your announcements would be.
You can't do it while you're in announcements, but if you're on your class page, you can.
But you can't
Because
go back and forth.
when you're in that announcement editing area, nothing's,
So
you
you have
haven't
to log
saved it yet.
You basically have to log out of that.
Well, this is how. So if we're in the announcements and you're editing,
Yeah.
Go down and save. Save where you are.
Okay.
Then you hit Preview Public. Before we had to log out and log back in. That's changed.
Yeah, they have that preview.
All right, so once the save events, and that other little thing will come up, preview.
Right.
Then
If
you
that's,
go back to where you want to edit.
you close and you go back to edit.
It opens it in a new tab or a new window.
Where did you close that?
Okay, so I save.
Okay,
I hit Preview Public.
got it.
So this is what the public page looks like.
All right,
I'm just going to close the tab.
got it.
And in this, you can put pictures, you can put video, you can put whatever you'd like.
Go to the My Classes area. So, Ed, what you were saying about announcements, it's can you put things here? It's going to show up right here. So imagine however long this is keeps pushing this bigger.
Okay.
And also, if kids are looking at this, if parents are looking at it, it is great to draw attention to it, but be careful that you don't have too much going on. Keep it concise.
So if you're studying the biomes and you have a picture of the biome that you're studying at the moment, this week we're studying the desert, and you have a picture of the desert, I think that would be an easy way to update it.
Yeah, you don't want the picture to be this big.
You want it to be kind of small.
Keep it concise. You can always add in there, check out our, in our resources folder, or check this out. You can link them to something else as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And resources. This is one of the downsides I see with eChalk. I think it's a little hard to navigate, but Lindsay just showed me something that is going to be really helpful with this. So I'll show you how to add resources on here. It adds them in like a folder, but the resource that we're going to show you later on will be really helpful. So if you want to add a resource, you're going to press the plus button. You can add a web link, upload a file, create a survey, create a web page, create a Google Doc. Any of those are your options. So if you just want to add a web link,
Excel or something for the kids to easily get there.
so you want to title it first. So this is going to be what it looks like. So maybe I want Google. And I'm going to type in what the link is.
And if it's
just
a
because I
long
know
link,
what
you
that is.
can paste it.
Yeah, copy and paste. And then you can also have a description. So use this search engine for all projects. You can have it open in a separate browser window, or you can have it open in the same. It's up to you. If you have a folder, you can put it in a folder, but we don't have any folders right now, so we can add a folder. We can say search engines.
So if this was your math links or your reading resources.
Math fact practice, things like that. So I want this to be in my search engines folder. You can share the web link with other classes. So if you have multiple science classes, you can share it in both. So if I wanted to have it in this one too, you can have it in both. You just have to click. Depends on what you want. And then you hit save. Always, always, always hit save. And then you have your folder here, and they open the folder. And there's your link. Now when you have a lot of resources, your folders get pretty long, and then you have stuff inside your folders, and it can get kind of confusing. But this Drago thing will help a lot with that.
We have a little secret
This is
workaround
awesome. I'm really excited. I'm not gonna lie.
to make resources a little easier to manage for you as well as for the kids to access, because I know, especially the younger grades,
It takes a lot of
this
clicks.
word doesn't always work because they don't know the words. And the last thing we want to do is waste time having kids get to places. We want to get them there quick so that we can use it. And I know we've all probably experienced nobody being able to get there, and they typed it wrong, and they clicked on the wrong thing. So, all right. One thing I want to show you guys first, if you go back to My Groups and you click on eChalk Professional Development, there is a document that will kind of help you decide what goes where. So we showed you the events area, the announcements area, the resources area. Figuring out where you would put different things and how you would use that. If you go to class calendar and events, so in this resource area, class calendar and events, it'll bring you to this page, which has resources on the class calendar and events. This one right here is called Class Page Tips for Teachers. And this will open up a PDF document. And if you want, you can save the PDF document on your computer, or you can just reference it. But it kind of goes through what you would put in events, what you would put in announcements, what would be for resources, and how you could use discussions. And then it has some tips down here as well. So this just goes through, if you're not sure where I would put this, where I would put that, this will help remind you of that. Okay, and again, that's in the group, right? So it's in the eChalk Professional Development group inside class calendar and events.
I suggest saving that. I think that's a good resource, and maybe keep it on your desktop for a while while you're getting used to it.
You'll notice here, this announcement, I have the line separating the two different announcements. It's the same way as Katie showed you. All right, so the first thing we want to show you is Drago, which is the resource thing that Katie just mentioned, how to organize resources. Drago is a pretty cool resource. I created an example one. Drago is a separate website, doesn't have anything to do with eChalk. Have you guys ever heard of Delicious or Digo? Delicious, Delicious is a social bookmarking site, but the idea is that your bookmarks are not just saved on your computer, they're saved on a site that you can access from any computer you're getting to. Drago is the same way. It lets you put all your bookmarks in one place, but the way in which it's organized, I think, is really, really helpful for students. So this is a Drago site that I created. So if you notice right here, it has science bookmarks, reading bookmarks. And I created the different tabs. You could customize these tabs however you want. You could pick the color. You can change the background. And then you can also customize these boxes. So right now you're at the public view, so this is what it looks like for the kids, or whoever you give this link to. But if you log into Drago,
It's free.
it's free. It's still a new site, so they're still working out some kind of kinks and things, and you'll notice there are ads. I imagine eventually as the site grows, that'll probably go away. The ads, I've never seen anything bad about the ads. Most of them are educationally focused, and they're no different than the kids see on Yahoo and Google all the time. So when you're logged in as yourself, it's actually really nice because you can move these things around and you can customize the titles. So in eChalk, if you create a folder that says science, and then you put like science practice and science fun and science reference, you can't have folders within a folder.
So you have like 4 or 5 different science ones. Like I have reading practice, reading plus, just get into different places like that, and it gets to be really long.
Right, it's just a long list rather than where the kids can say, okay, I'm going to this page and I know. And you'll also notice that there's little pictures that go with the links. Those are, the website provides that. So the kids, especially when they're younger, they can easily see, oh, I know that one, and I know where to go to get that one. So I've just found that this makes more sense in terms of navigating resources. The great thing about it, too, is that I'm going to go to Chrome for a second. Well, that's not going to help. This one. Nope, I'm the wrong one again. I apologize. Right here. So these are the bookmarks, but you can add this little button to your browser. So if I'm on a website and I want to add it to my page, all I have to do is click Save to Drago. So let's say that I went to and I really thought this was a great website. I could say Save to Drago, and then you're going to get a little pop-up. Sometimes it doesn't happen right away. Or maybe mine's not going to work today because I moved things around. But either way, we can get into that. But Save to Drago is then it's going to appear in your inbox right here, any new sites that you've added. So they come to your inbox. So you're out browsing, looking for great resources for the kids, and you're like, oh, this one's good, Save to Drago. Oh, this one's good, Save to Drago. Then you go into Drago, and then you can drag them from here and put them in the right categories that you want. And that's why it's called Drago, because you just drag them in, which I've always found is much easier than clicking on something and checking a box and saying okay and save.
How come you gotta go to Chrome to do this?
I only went to Chrome because I was already logged in there. I could log in. See the Save to Draggle button? I don't have it installed on the Safari because I don't use Safari. But that little button, there's all the directions for how to save that button. The interesting thing about Draggle is like you can't have a certain number of tabs until you do something. So as soon as you save 4 websites, they like give you a new feature. And as soon it's very easy to get the features. If you get 100 people to sign up through your referral link, you get something. I don't know what it is. I can't imagine getting 100 people. I don't have any. But either way, I just found it's easier to navigate this because then the kids have just one place they know to get all their links. Just a suggestion in terms of eChalk resources because I am not a fan of how they're organized. So then all you would have from your class page would be a link to our class resources. And you might still have resources files that you've added or other things that you've created, but in terms of those main ones, then the kids can get there really easily. You can have a parent one. You can also have certain pages in the Draggle tabs. You can have some of these private so the kids can't view them. So if you want your own personal links in there as well, then you can only see them if you're logged in. So there's public and private. Exactly, so if you want to put all your shopping links in there. So you don't have to have a separate work and personal. You can kind of have them mixed as long as you keep it private. So you can add a category, all different kinds of things. So if you guys want to take any time to set that up today, we're more than happy to help you guys set that up and get that going because we definitely want to give you time. The other thing I want to show you is how to link something a little in a more simple way. So let's say for we're going to add an event, and this linking works for events, it works for resources, it works for anywhere that you have this big white editing area. Okay, so awesome video. Okay, now I'll show you what you can do with this video after we link to it. But anyone have a favorite video on YouTube they've watched recently?
Yeah, it's Kid Snippets.
What's
it's
it
called? Math Class.
It's on YouTube?
Yes, Kid Snippets. It's called Math Class.
Okay, Kid Snippets Math Class.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the guy with his hands in there.
This one?
Yeah, that one.
All right. Oh, these are funny.
Yeah.
I've seen this one.
Really funny.
Okay, so you get this link, which is fine. It's actually not a really long link. So I take that link
you have a story.
and I go back to my class page and I put that link in there. Oh, this is an awesome video. And I save this. And so what the kids see when they look at that is they see awesome video and all these random letters, which, you know, they've probably figured out as a link by now. But it looks kind of messy.
It can look nicer.
Right, it can look nicer. So if you edit, instead of having the link there, you can say, click me to watch. So type what you wanted to say, highlight what you want to link, then you go to the little world button. So it's a little chain with the world. So it's a link to the World Wide Web. And in your hyperlink manager, in the URL area, you just paste what you copied. So you paste that YouTube link. The only thing you have to be careful of is it automatically puts http:// in. So if you paste right next to it, you're going to have 2 http://. So I always recommend just deleting everything in there and paste. Okay. Now, this is where you can even change the text in here. I can add an exclamation point. It's the same as editing it there. The target is where it opens, okay? And this is really important, I think, especially for younger kids. You can have it open in the same window. That means it's going to open inside the eChalk window. It's not going to open in another window or come a new window or a new tab. It's going to stay right in there to kind of keep the kids in one place. Or you can have it be a new window. I don't really know how parent and browser window work, but I'm going to say same window. I believe it defaults to same window, but I'm not 100% sure. So then say, okay, so now that becomes the same link as that. It's just prettier. Okay. You can do the same thing.
Are you going to get rid of that link so it doesn't show up when you save it?
Look at that. I love it. Yes, exactly. I don't need that one anymore.
Right.
Okay. You can also add a picture. Okay. So I'm going to go to my image manager, and I can upload a picture of my own, or I can go to the eChalk image gallery. And in here, I can find a picture. Okay. If I know the category.
Math.
Okay. I don't think there is a, oh, there is a math category. If you don't know the category, you can go to here and you can search the gallery. You can type in math and it'll come up with a whole bunch of math pictures. So I'll pick mathematics and then pick a good, there's a good, you know, there's a math sign. Insert. Now I have this picture. If I highlight the picture, I can do the same thing. I can link that picture. So you can say, click on the little calculator man. So for younger kids, it might be easier, click on the apple instead of click on the tiny words, especially when they're trying to navigate things with their little fingers or on an iPad or, you know, with the motor skills with the mouse. So it can add fun to it. Obviously, it's not necessary for every single link you give the kids because it's a little more time consuming. But
it's not even that time consuming. I mean, you just, it's the same thing.
Right. You'll get quick with it. So if I paste that link in there, you won't actually see the picture change. You'll notice the text turned underlined blue, which means it's a hyperlink. You won't see the picture change, but if you save your event, clicking on that picture, I think you actually have to be in the event. I must not have done it right. I must not have highlighted it right. Either way, your picture can become your link as well.
To do the target part.
Yeah, you don't always have to, though. I wonder if I'm doing something wrong. I have to look at that.
I've never done it that way. I didn't know
Yeah.
you could do that.
You can. Well,
I always just do,
we'll have to take
the
a look.
words.
Is it going to work when you see it quickly to watch?
This one. None of mine are working. Maybe. That's probably why. You know what? If you leave this at... Okay, so you'll notice right here, see how I highlighted and there's like all this space highlighted? The link doesn't work when you highlight all that. So you have to highlight exactly what you did if you need to go back and edit your hyperlink. I'm going to say none. And then it should work. For whatever reason, the same window. Why aren't our links working today? This is very strange.
Just be fussy.
We'll have to look at that.
Sometimes that happens.
eChalk can get fussy, but that's odd that none of them work. So either way, you'll see that you can, you know, make it neat. Now this picture might be a little bit big for the class page because it's taken over. And we'll show you how to edit that.
Will it work in there? Click in there.
If it's not working anywhere, it won't work. I'll have to take a look at that. I'm not sure what's going on. One thing that I wish I could tell you is you cannot customize which of these are in which order on your class page. So your events, you cannot move them around or say I want this one first or this one second. It's something that eChalk knows about and they're aware of. You'll notice that certain things happen to post above others, but it's not the order in which you post them either. They can't figure it out, and it's hopefully going to be in the June update as to make that customizable, but I'm not sure. So just so you guys are aware.
Since we started with eChalk, there's already a lot of changes that have been made that are really helpful. Like the whole preview page. Before you had to go in a different browser and look at your page from a different browser just to see if the editing was right. And now you can just click preview page. So they're making changes, and it's more quickly than it seems like it is.
There's an update coming in June that's got some really different sort of things that I'm excited about. So we'll have some stuff on it. All right, so it's great to link to a video, even if it doesn't work. But there's a better way to put a video into your eChalk class page.
So you can also embed a video. So
embedding means? Who knows what embedding means?
It'll actually show up right there.
It'll show up right there, exactly.
Your page won't move, it'll just edit.
Mm-hmm.
So where would you like me to embed it? Let's see.
You can embed it on, just make a new event, or you can edit an event.
Okay. Maybe I can log in and maybe we could try the M-line thing and see if it works on yours.
Thank you so much.
Alright, you're going to see the word embed or find the word embed a lot of places. Oh wait, you know what? Don't sign out
Okay,
because it'll sign us out of Google+.
got it. Okay.
Is the word embed?
Embed. Embed.
Embed.
Embed.
Not embed.
Not embed. Not like going to bed. You'll find,
Where should I find a video?
look up like the counties of country.
On YouTube?
So you'll find the word embed on a lot of websites. Oh, embed this on your site. All you're doing is getting the HTML code, which is like the secret internet language for what it is. If you really want to learn, you can learn how to write it. But if you know a little bit, you can edit it and make it do what you want. So YouTube makes it really easy to embed a video from their site to yours. Okay? So let's say you did a counting by 100 video every day. You can link the kids to it easily. But when you link them to it, you're bringing them to this page, which as you can see has a whole bunch of other exciting things on it. When you're done with the video, what comes up?
Suggestions.
Suggestions.
And other videos.
Which are great, except sometimes we just want the kids to watch one video, and we don't want them to get distracted. So when you go down here on YouTube, you can click share. Any video, you can click share. It's immediately going to give you a link, which you could easily get from up there, but it'll give you this link. You can instead go to embed. Okay? On embed, it gives you the code. Okay? That secret internet HTML code. All you have to do is copy that. But you'll notice there's an option at the bottom. Show suggested videos when the video finishes. Nope, I don't want them to see the next videos because there's no need for them to see them. They just need to watch this one.
Is that default? Does it show up every time?
Sometimes I've noticed if you're not signing out of things or clearing your cache, it'll stay like that, but check it each time. You can always go back and re-get the code and do that if you notice it does. The video size, 420 by 315 is, the eChalk class page that's about this wide, it's about 1,000 pixels wide. So if you think about how wide you want that video to be.
That seems like a good size.
The kids can always click the full screen button to watch it full screen. So they don't have to watch it mini. But in terms of putting it on your site, you may not want it to take over the whole page.
Oh, yeah.
So all you do is copy, Command-C the code. And then when you're on the white page, okay, he has the secret, the secret HTML button.
Then you hit Command-V. It should be in there.
And you can go back to design for a second.
Design. Sorry.
And you'll see it's embedded right in there.
Oh, it's like a preview button.
Yeah, it's like this. It does the same thing kind of as
Same thing as
preview.
preview, yeah.
But you can now add text above it, below it. You can center it. All right, would we want to show this as a short description, or would we want to show it in a separate page?
What do you guys think?
Separate page.
Why?
Because it would take too much. It would make that thing
You take up too much space.
too big.
Absolutely. You're going to be raking in the pens here.
Right. This is best to show in a separate page. Plus, if you're not ready to show the video yet, but it's right there on the page for the kids, they're going to click on it. They're going to watch it before you want them to watch it.
I don't know where I
It's
put it.
tiny. It's right.
Oh, got it. I know you guys wanted to hear it.
And
Come on,
videos
kids!
often
Do you want to count to 100?
They usually don't show up when you embed videos. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Can you put a picture about that?
So it's just a piece of your white page. It's
Right.
just a little window to the YouTube video. So it's a great way to, if this is something you do every day, and repeat it every single day. In that recurrence, put it on every single day so it's there every single day, easy to get to. The kids know we're going to do this today.
And that way, if they're absent, they can do it at home.
parents have really easy access to this, and then they don't get lost in other things, because you've chosen the best video. You don't need them to see all the other suggested junky ones. I picked this one.
So let me, just a quick clarification. If I were to watch this on YouTube, there would be an advertisement in the beginning of it. Chances are.
When we were on YouTube, it had one, Olive Garden.
Oh. But if I take that code and embed it on my page, it takes that out. Okay, cool.
Another thing I just learned, if you go back to share this video, I was at a Google conference last week. Go here. This doesn't work for embedding, but if you do link it and you only want the kids to watch a certain part of the video, you can have it start and decide you don't want them to watch the first minute. You want them to start at 2 minutes and watch the rest. So there's
It's like your Venus movie.
Yeah, I know, the Venus movie.
There was a little too much.
So there's a way to kind of to customize it. It doesn't work for embedding yet, but it's there. There is a way to do it. It's just changing the code. So that's a nice way to customize what you want. And you can embed multiple videos on one side.
When she went back to eChalk and she hit the HTML, why did she hit HTML?
That's where the code has to go.
Oh.
Because it's special
When you were on
code.
YouTube and you click that embed button, it gave you all that
Right.
Google got numbers, copy and paste it, go back to there, hit HTML, paste it, Control V, it shows up.
It's like behind the scenes. You don't see that, but that's what coding
The preview button just lets you see what it's going to look like. It really doesn't look any different from the design area. And you were going to add some text and stuff.
Yeah, I can add some text.
So it's now just an object you can, enter around and highlight and center.
I'm going to do all caps. 111. Make it jazzy.
Thanks.
Is there anything else?
No. Do you want to, if you guys are up for it, we're going to show you a little more. Go back to HTML. Okay, so if you find you don't like the size of that, but you don't want to go back to YouTube and change the size, if you want to try editing HTML, you can. You look really close, you'll find width and height. In quotations are the width and height that you selected. You can change those, just don't forget the quotation marks, and don't put like 87,000, because that's way too many pixels. Remember, it's about 1,000
If you
wide.
change just the height, not the width, it's going to end up all goofy. You got to make sure you do it proportionally, right?
It doesn't seem to matter. It kind of makes itself work no matter what. Go, make it like 600 and leave 300. So it kind of works.
Stretches it out.
It stretches it a little. It's not stretching the video, it's just stretching the window. But when you play it, it's going to show the whole thing. See, it puts the...
Come on,
keyboard
kids!
to the right region.
Do you want to count to 100?
So if you want to customize from there, it's a little bit easier than going all the way back to YouTube and changing others. Just be careful if you do edit that and something goes funny, just go back and get the regular code.
Yeah. Don't try and fix it.
So.
Okay, did you want to show them your
Fun secret?
your,
okay.
Yeah, that's you.
So if you look back at the group page that we were on, you'll notice my announcement's moving. Okay, you're the first people to learn this in D100. First people, so you get to go and like show off your new knowledge.
You look really tacky.
Okay, this is called a marquee, like a marquee on like an old movie set. A marquee is just moving text, and it turns out it's actually just HTML code, and it's simple to do. So let's say we wanted this. What did you say? I can count to 100. Okay, so I want I can count to 100 to scroll across the screen. Okay, may not be useful for every single event, but kind of fun if you want to catch somebody's attention. So in HTML, all you need to do is find the line that has the text. Okay? So this is the line that has I can count to 100. Find the line that has the text. Before that, you're going to add a few letters. You'll notice the little brackets are how everything begins and ends in HTML. So you're going to add a start bracket, and you're going to type the word marquee, and you're going to add an end bracket, but I don't think it should be capitalized. Marquee. Okay, so at the beginning of the line, you're going to start the marquee, and then you're going to go to the end of the line, and you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to end the marquee, and ending the marquee. So one of these, and then I do a backslash marquee. So I start the marquee and I end the marquee. So once I've done that, I go back to design, and now my text moves. So it is a little tedious to do, but you get kind of fun benefits from it. So you're the first to learn that. You guys can teach everybody. You can make pictures scroll. You can make big text scroll. You'll notice things get a little funky if you try to center them and scroll them and put them all in a line. So keep it simple, what you're making move across the screen. And obviously everything doesn't need to move because the kids are going to go nuts and you're going to go nuts. But not a bad idea for an announcement to make sure that everybody sees it. And the kids have never seen it either, so they're going to think it's pretty cool too. And then you're going to look like the awesomest eChalk teacher ever. All right, so save that. And because it's not a short description, I won't see it until I click on this. But if it was a short description, it would be scrolling in here, and it would also be scrolling in here.
How can you change it to a short description? How would you go back and change it if you wanted to?
Go to edit. So click on my event and edit. Anywhere you get that pencil, you can edit. Show us.
Click it, show us short description.
So now you'll notice, right? The YouTube videos will show up here. They just take a little time. But obviously, what it did to my class page was it scooched everything over because that YouTube video is really big. So that's not something that you want to show as a short description. Okay? So then all you have to do is go back and change that because that's definitely not something you want as a short description. And short description is the default. It's the default. So it starts a short description. You have to choose to make it a separate page.
I can't read the other option.
Show in a separate page.
Thank you.
Show as a short description. And now,
the separate page just makes it kind of smaller.
for you, you'll notice when you're editing, all of these are blue because they're links for you to go edit them. But for the kids, they're blue only if they're in a separate page. And you'll see that on there.
To another page.
The blue just means it's a link to the next page. Do you guys have any questions right now? Probably a lot of info. No. If you want to, what I would like right now is if you can add some events, like think about the rest of this week. Can you add a few events for the rest of this week? Adding a feature, adding a scrolling feature, okay? Adding, embedding a video somewhere, starting to sign up for Drago, okay? I got a lot of pens, so maybe each feature that you show us, you get a pen. Okay? And we're here to help you. If there's something you're not sure how to do, that marquee thing as well, don't worry because there is a link to show you how to do it. In the professional development resources, it's in the announcement area because to me it's more of an announcement type thing. And it says how to add a marquee, and it's a step-by-step guide of how to add a marquee. Everything you need to add and type. Okay? So if you're not sure how to do that, you can always reference that. Oh, that's the one last thing, the document link. We need to show the document link. I'll show you. All right. You know you can link to a video, but let's say you want to give the kids a document, or you have a flyer, or something you need to hand out, or a homework page. Not all parents have pages. Parents don't always have Microsoft Word. So if you're giving something out that is meant to be printed or downloaded, it's best to be what format? What's universal?
Word?
Sometimes, but not everybody has Word. It's 3 letters.
PDF.
PDF. Jane gets a pen.
You win.
So PDF is the best way to put documents. If they're just for the kids to download, then whatever format works great for the kids because they have their device. But if you're thinking of something like a field trip form that parents might need to look at, you're going to want that to be a PDF because they might not be able to view it. They can view a PDF on their phone, but they can't view a Pages document on their phone. Microsoft Word doesn't always show up on your phone. So I'm going to create an event. And let's say I need to give out some sort of document. Okay. I can attach the document right here, attach a file. But if I attach the file, then the person who's looking at it has to download the file. They don't have a choice. They have to download it. If you just need somebody to see a file, like as a reference or as an example, instead of attaching it, okay, I can link it to some text. So just like I would hyperlink to a website, I can link, see the little paperclip page? I'm going to attach a document. So I can attach a document, and it asks me to upload. If you uploaded documents before, they'll be in here. This teacher hasn't. So you just go to upload, and then you can upload 3 at a time. You can actually upload more than 3 at a time if you have a lot of documents. Usually you just have 1. So say select, and then go find your document. So I'm going to click on a PDF I have of how to change a student password in eChalk. That might be useful for somebody. Now, obviously, for your kids, that's not going to help them, but that's for teachers. So I chose the PDF document.
It can even be like the Apple Hero stuff, you know, they've been doing around the district just so that they can see it.
Mm-hmm. Upload. And then you actually have to select it and say insert. Again, you have the thing, same window, new window. I just leave it at none. So now that's a link to a document, not a link to a website.
Make sure you save.
Always save. So now, if I click on this, it's going to let me see the document, but it's not making me download it. I can, but I can just look at it from here. So this is the best way, instead of attaching things for people to download, because you know how it is, the kids download and they're like, where did it go? They can just look at it in here. It's not my downloads file. Parents are the same way. This is a great way to link that. Also, I know a lot of people have said, well, what if I have more than 1 document for an assignment? Well, if you have, you can only attach 1 file to each event. So in this event, let's say I have a group 1 document and a group 2 document. Well, I can't attach both of them, so then I would have to make 2 separate events. Or say you would have, you know, the class page and then, you know, the directions page and the worksheet page and all the different things.
Or something like that. It's nice to, I didn't know that you could do that. So I would have 1 attached in there and then 1 attached there. It's really nice that you can put multiple, especially if you're doing projects where you have rubrics and directions all on different pages.
Right. You can add all of them in there, and then they're all in one place for you, for the parents, for the students, whoever it is. So there's another little tip to be able to make things a little bit easier. Okay. All right. I know we've shown you guys a lot. We want to see what you guys have questions on, see what works for you, what doesn't. If you have something that something isn't working or you'd like to ask opinions, we're here to help. I think we have like 15, 20 minutes.
Okay, sure.
Let me see how Molly's doing. Hi, Molly. How are you? You can turn your microphone on.
Thanks.
We're just going to do some work time.
Okay.
Molly, do you have any questions?
I do. I have a video, and I'm just trying to embed it into an announcement. But am I in the wrong place if I'm trying to...
Can you share your screen for me?
Sure.
Is it like the little screen share green button?
Oh, you know what? I had it open, not in Chrome, so let me just.
Oh, it doesn't have to be Chrome. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
Just share your like desktop or whatever. There you go.
Okay.
Perfect.
So I was in here, and I went through like link to just like
Mm-hmm.
the text link, and then I wanted to embed Accounting by Twos video.
Oh, okay. If you have the code, you're
Mhm.
going to want to click on the HTML thing at the bottom of that area.
Oh, that's, I thought it was. Okay.
So then paste the code in there.
Uh-huh. Here?
Yep. And so you'll notice that there's a thing that says like BR. That just means there's a space, so you can put it underneath those.
Oh, okay.
That's just a break. And paste the code there.
And then save.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty.
Or you want it in the announcements? You want it as an
Click here. Okay, it's in.
All right. With announcements, I don't think there's a show in the separate page option, so sometimes the video takes a little while to load, or it might not show because it's so big.
Mm-hmm.
So go back to design. Click on design there.
Okay.
Okay.
And do you see the YouTube video there? I can't see your screen all the time. It keeps bringing up the Hangout on top of your screen.
No, it doesn't show up. But
did you get the embed code or did you get the link?
Oh, you're right. I did not get the embed code.
So it's in share. So down there below the video, it's in share and then embed, and then you'll get the code. And try that. I'll be right back.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Oh, you guys need your papers. All right. So this read like a pod. And then when you're done with that, you get their evidence.
Oh, okay.
All right. All right. And then I should be able to like click that and it will go on.
It should be, yeah, it's embedded. You got it.
Any other questions? We're going to have more PDs soon that are going to focus on specific areas and time to work through specific things. But if there's anything else that I talked with, I'm sure Katie would answer questions.
I'm on iChat a lot, so if you need it.
Like setting up your class, for example.
Yeah.
There's also a help document. I know I made one step by step that's in there.
Yeah.
Where there's pictures, arrows.
Show you how to do all the basic setup stuff.
We can do this later or you can now.
We need them
Now.
Oh.
Take your time. But go show off the little marquee, and then you can make everybody jealous of your eChalk.
Maybe my whole video start Marquee. So
And that's where
The whole
anywhere.
video.
Yeah.
Anywhere, huh?
Anywhere, yeah.
And that, yeah.
You can make anything scroll. However, you don't want to make it hard for the kids to click on a link.
Now,
Just as a show.
Yeah, it goes here, and then you guys take one of each.
I was looking for a marquee feature. It's simple. It's totally separate subject on my iPad, personal iPad.
What do you mean?
Like screensaver when it just marquees across. You can put something in.
Oh, I don't think it does that.
I needed something like that very specifically for something separate.
I don't think it'll do that.
Find it.
Raul might be the guy to talk to.
It's a public relations thing, totally separate.
Yeah. I could only see it working if it was like a video.
I actually want to use it as a sign.
Right. But you
Fairly
can't.
large size,
Yeah.
color thing.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Bye. Thanks.
And I'm a musician, and I put it in
Yeah.
versus having a cheesy plastic piece of garbage or something.
The only thing I could think is if it was a video that just played the whole time. Yeah. Molly, how are you doing?
Good. I got the video in and got it working, so thank you.
Good. Good to hear. I will send the forms to you,
Oh, great.
and then I'll just have you send the eval one back. So I'll just do it through inter
right.
district mail. All right?
All right. Thank you so much, Lindsay.
All right, thanks.
Have a good night.
You too.